Hello, it's Hair. As we all know, Thursdays are often a day where RuneScape or Jagex or the old school RuneScape team will give us an additional little update of things they've been working on and things that they've been looking at. This week, the 11th of May, Thursday of 2023. So in this week's news post, we spoke about the huge upgrades for the C++ client and asked you to give us feedback on the Jagex accounts following several weeks of the open beta. We didn't want to take any focus away from work we've been doing on our client and account systems in the game's update new post, but we'd like to spend a little time updating you on what we're working on in terms of game content at the minute. So Desert Treasure 2, The Fallen Empire. So this was the update, especially with the Ruinous Powers and the new prayer book, that they realized that maybe we're not just ready for it. So last month, they opened and closed the beta for Ruinous Powers, a brand new prayer book proposed as a reward from what's sure to be the old school's most epic quest to date. So they're saying that Desert Treasure 2 is going to be the most epic quest ever. You know, I've got a Questscape, as you can see on my back right now. I have a Questscape. I am a avid fan of quests. No, I don't read all of it. I do sort of skip through a lot of them, but the Desert Treasure 2 quest, I feel like I would spend a bit of time on it. We shared some detailed thoughts in this blog, and the blog will be in the description. But to sum up, you had a whole lot to say, and we didn't feel we'd properly address your feedback by making small changes week by week, while staying on top of developing the rest of the content associated with Desert Treasure 2. With a game jam and external playtest in the past couple of weeks, we needed extra time before we could shift focus and revisit the balancing and our approach for these powerful prayers. So the external playtest, does that mean that there's people who also play RuneScape? I feel like it would be. I hope so. Because if they just got like random people in who don't really know the game, then it would make more sense. So I can assume the Jagex have sort of have some brain sense enough to actually get people who are interested in the game and people who would actually find the reason as to why a prayer would be good. So we've got a lot of ideas following the feedback you've given us so far, but there's always room for more. So we put together a short survey to give you a chance to let us know how you felt about the Ruinous Powers in testing and give us some slightly more quantitative data that allows us to target specific prayers or types of prayers as most in need of some TLC, some tender loving care, or some table ladders and chairs, depending on sort of how you're feeling. To fill out the survey, click the button below. So the button below will be attached in the description if you wish to sort of have your say on part of the survey there. It should take under 10 minutes to your feedback will prove absolutely invaluable to us. So that's great. So in other desert themed news, we've held an external player test last week where we brought 6 players to our offices, piled them with food and drink, and forced them to fight 4 post-quest bosses for 2 full days. The bad news is that we only had 2 days and we were having so much fun, but the good news is that the bosses are shaping up fantastically. All 4 of them are super unique and challenging in different ways, and we can't wait to show off more and to see you get stuck into taking them on yourselves this summer. So that means there's going to be 4 bosses with Desert Treasure 2. We also strong-armed a couple of our playtesters into providing us some shortcuts, so here's what a couple of them had to say. The variety of mechanics and difficulty of the bosses are going to have people pleasantly surprised. A lot of variety and engaging mechanics. Team has outdone themselves and I cannot wait. That's by Pure Spam. Mod Goblins says, thanks Mod Ieza for buying me dinner during the playtest. The Desert Treasure 2 bosses have been crafted by the team with attention in mind. They're fun, intricate, and all very unique. Exciting times are coming. And the concept of the bosses took me by surprise. Very excited to see players take on unique mechanics they have to offer. Okie doke. So that's all the things to do with Desert Treasure 2, what they've been working on, what they are willing to let us know as of this moment in time. But it does seem to be shaping up as to be something that's quite interesting. I come from RuneScape 3, and I know you can sort of shit on me on the comments there for coming from RuneScape 3. But I came from RuneScape 3 to Oldschool RuneScape. And RuneScape 3 did have a lot of bosses with different mechanics and stuff like that you need to do. So it will be interesting to see if they have sort of, maybe duplicated any of the mechanics and brought them over to old school RuneScape and are looking at different methods of doing things. So it will be really interesting, especially with how interesting Phantom Musper looked. Now, if you check my log, I've never killed it, other than the quest one, but I have friends who have done Phantom Musper and they've said that it is quite mechanically intense and it is something that you can enjoy. So who knows? And as the clickbaity title will tell you, that this is about Bounty Hunter as well. So as you may have seen over on our YouTube channel, Bounty Hunter is a mere 2 weeks away following our recent rewards poll, where everything except from the minus XP passed. Well, they've actually highlighted that. That's really funny. Well, we've seen a bit more bits of feedback and a handful of questions about some of the mechanics of Bounty Hunter itself. And since we've not spoken about the actual minigame for some time, first up, we want to share a change we've made and make sure you're all aware before you risk gaining any extra combat levels. We've adjusted the level requirements of the Ancient Warrior weapons, not armor, from tier 78 to tier 75. This is to bring them in line with the pre-existing Vestas Blighted Longsword and avoid having effectively duplicated an item with different requirements. So, to reiterate, if you're building an account for Bounty Hunter, do not level your stats past 75 if Ancient Warrior weapons are your end goal. With that word of warning out of the way, let's break things up in a sneak peek of somewhere you'll be getting very familiar with in just the next couple of weeks. I have to say, I'm not the greatest at PvP. I can hold my own to an extent, but I do just get absolutely shafted half the time. I'm really excited for Bounty Hunter. I've been practicing LMS a little bit. I've been doing sort of the PvP, and I've been doing like little PvP trips with the boys. I'm excited for it. It looks like it's going to be a really cool update, and I'm really excited for it. So here's a quick snap of the lobby area, so I'll zoom in for these for you. Featuring all the amenities you'll need to get in and out of action quickly. A robe trader for you to exchange points and emblems with. A coffer for anybody choosing to remain unskulled. A chest for loot keys. A bank chest and a pool to restore your hit points, prayer points, stats, and energy, but not your special attack energy. Okay, so that's... yeah, because that would just make the pools in the house pretty useless. In the middle, you'll see a portal to what you arrive at, surrounded by 4 ominous floating skulls to make sure the mood is right as soon as you enter. The red barrier, as you can see at the top of the image, is what you'll interact with to be whisked away to the crater itself, appearing at one of the spawning areas dotted around the outside of the crater. And we've seen a number of you asking about the look of the crater itself. Well, we're not gone capturing any epic drone footage just yet. We did manage to sneak in and snap a nice shot for you. So it just does, it looks good, and as you can see by this, you know, it will look nicer on 117 HD or maybe RS HD or OSHD, sorry, you know, on those clients there as well. The spawns look an awful lot like they've invited ruined circle on the floor, surrounded by blood, bones, and spooky curved horns. If you squint, you might make out another at the very top right of the image. You might also notice that there's a little more going on than the iconic wilderness grey paint job that was given to the creators of old. This time around, we've spiced things up with grassy knolls, lava pools, icy inclines, and even a precarious bridge or 2 surrounding the forbidding lobby in the crater's heart. And now that we know exactly which rewards are coming to Bounty Hunter, some of you have been asking for an update on some of the reward system to better understand exactly how you'll earn them and whether or not you'll be able to poke holes in that nefarious individuals might exploit. So in the previous Bounty Hunter blog, we shared with you a fantastic player suggestion from an EP, so earning potential system. Unfortunately, when we sat down to explore an EP system as described, it became clear to us that it wasn't feasible, and if we wanted to incorporate it successfully alongside a solid foundation for Bounty Hunter's core. We're open to considering implementing a similar system in the future once the dust around Bounty Hunter has settled, but it won't be available on release. So how exactly will you be able to earn points to get your hands on some Ancient Warrior equipment? The simplest means of earning points available is just to kill your target. Each successful target you kill earns you 2 points, with a couple of extra points up for grabs for various kill milestones. So each successful target gives you 2 points, with a couple extra at the various milestones, which means that 10th kill you get 3 points, 50 kills you get 5 points, 100 kills you get 10 points, and 500 you get 25. On top of a nice scoring system, clean kills on your bounties, you'll be able to streak kills together for added reward via the emblem system. Any players will be able to hold on to one of the emblems at a time, starting at a measly tier 1. Killing a target where you got the emblem with you will level your emblem up a tier until a maximum of tier 10, and you'll receive a handful of additional points for killing a target who had an emblem on their own, as outlined in this handy table. So emblem tier 1 equals 2 points. I'm not going to go through it all, but there is that. That's going to sort of explain it for you. Ultimately, this means you'll see some additional points come in for securing bigger kill streaks or for killing other high targets with high tier emblems, but you won't be able to easily transfer high tier emblems or large quantities of points to other players. For securing kills, you'll have to reject modernity and embrace tradition, as teleporting, protection prayers, and entangling/binding effects are disabled inside the crater. We've seen a number of calls for a version of the crater where no honor or tribrid PvP is able to flourish. While we remain open to the idea down the line, our aim is to empower players who are new to PvP to get involved, give it a go, build up the comfort level with old school's high-risk PvP that might leave them wanting more. We believe that Bounty Hunter has the potential to form a massive part of the growing PvP community and make future content like Deep Wilderness updates where no honor PvP is best suited, even more appealing for you players, for you as players and for us as a team. There's more we'd love to share, but we don't want to spoil too much of the day one experience. We're beyond excited to see a place of simpler honor PvP and hope to see it absolutely packed with people looking to find fast fights with like-minded players around the clock. We know this has been a little bit of a shorter read, but I hope you all enjoyed the impromptu update on where a couple of our upcoming content pieces are at, alongside some answers to a couple of questions. Please take time to fill in the Ruinous Power survey and make sure you get in touch with us. So yeah, that is today's update. It does look really interesting. The excitement for Bounty Hunter is definitely there. The excitement for Desert Treasure 2 is definitely there. I personally am quite excited, and I feel as though these updates are going to be fantastic for the game. But guys, if you did enjoy the video, please let me know down in the description. What are you most excited for when it comes to Desert Treasure 2 or maybe Bounty Hunter? And I know I said it in the last video and didn't put it in, but I'm going to do it this time. This is the percentage of people that are not subscribed compared to the people that are watching the channel. So if you are new around here, make sure to press that subscribe button. We are on the road to 500 by the end of the year. I think it's achievable. I just really hope that we, build a nice little community over here. But if you did enjoy it, let me know down in the comment section below. Make sure to like, check out the links in there as well. If you want to do the Ruinous Power survey, then by all means do it. But yeah, it's been here, guys. See ya.